Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel. And today I have a box that I have unboxed many times before, and you will probably be seeing it quite a few more times before the end of the year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It is the Once Upon a Book Club adult box. Now they do a young adult box as well as an adult box every single month. It is $49.99 per month. That does include the shipping. And of course, I do have a code for you. It is Noelle10. That will save you 10%. If you use that code in the link that I leave for you in the description box below, it does give me a little credit with them so that I can keep bringing this box to you. Now, fair warning, this is actually the July 2021 box. Yes, that is how far behind I am, and that is why I put my subscription on pause for a good portion of this year, because I am determined to get caught up. But I truly enjoy these boxes where as you go along, you come to a page that has a little sticky note that tells you to open a corresponding gift. I think it's such a great way of getting back into reading. It's definitely helped me get back into reading, and they often have some really cool items inside. So I have made it a mission to try to get almost caught up by the end of the year. So you will be seeing quite a few book boxes here on my channel over the next couple of months, and then hopefully I'll get back on a more regular schedule. Now, I was paying for the box in 2021 and a good portion of 2022 as well. Sometimes they will send me a review box, which I'm so grateful for. You'll see one of those coming up in a couple of months. And then I am also doing some of their limited edition boxes. I think I got their fall or Halloween box, one of them, as well as their Advent box. Now, it's not really an Advent box. It's really anything leading up to anything. You can open it 12 days whenever you want to, but I'll probably be doing a 12 Days of Christmas series here on the channel, opening that Advent box. So you might want to stay tuned for that. I'm probably also going to do an actual Advent series here on the channel. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe so you can keep up to date on all of those things that are going on. I do post all the time, pretty much every day, if not twice a day. Right now we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, have 2 videos. It might be even more than that as we get closer to the end of the year, because I have so many great boxes to share with you. And of course, like I said, I am a little bit backed up on the book boxes. Now, I told you the monthly price. They do often have boxes, past boxes, still in their shop, and this one that I'm sharing with you today is in there. So if you see something that you like in here, this is a good opportunity to go ahead and get that past box. That said, I will be doing spoilers of the actual item, so if you kind of think that the book sounds good and you want it to still be a surprise, maybe you just listen to the book synopsis and then skip the rest of the video for now. But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, in addition to the book that you get this nice little sort of club kit is what they call it, which is usually just like a nice folded page. So the theme for this one was Catherine Dior, French Resistance Spy. So they actually do hints for the month before. You can actually find out what the book is if you want to, because everyone does receive the same book for the adult boxes. Everyone receives the same book for the young adult boxes. So just in case it's something you've already happened to read. But if you are able to do it along with them, it's really nice. They usually include like a little author interview. They also have read-along dates. For a little while, they were really behind on their shipping, but they have gotten so good about keeping us up to date, shipping updates all the time. So, and again, I'm not like a current subscriber right now. I'm sort of doing one-off boxes until I get caught up, but hopefully I'll be able to really truly enjoy them along with other readers of this box. So, and we are also thinking about doing a little book club in our Nobot Nook, which is the Facebook group associated with this channel. So if you are interested in being a part of that, you want to get yourself into the Nobot Nook, I'll leave the link for you below. All right, in addition to that little book club kit, we always get a little bookmark. This one just says, "Courage, my dear." So it's just a quote from the book itself. And then we always get a quote card that a lot of people I know like to frame and just kind of change it out with the different months, because it kind of inspires you as you're reading. So this one says the same thing, "Courage, my dear," and you can kind of see those fashion drawings very faintly in the back. And then we do have a nice little note from the author that seems to have been handwritten, which I think is so nice, such a lovely touch to get those author's notes. So let me just read that to you. It says, "Dear reader, I hope you are well and enjoying the summer wherever you might be." So summer a year ago, says, "It's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to my new novel, Sisters of the Resistance, which New York Times bestselling author Natasha Lester called a gorgeous blend of fashion, heartbreak, heroism, and love." I think it's kind of funny that she quoted her own review. It says, "Sisters of the Resistance celebrates the courage and sacrifice of women like Catherine Dior, sister of the famous famous fashion designer and a decorated war heroine of France. I hope you enjoy this story along with the delightful gifts that have been selected to complement the book. With warmest wishes, Christine Wells. So I do appreciate that's very nice. And of course, I would repeat that glowing praise as well. So this is kind of historical fiction. She definitely had to do some research for it. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, when I started reading it, I had fits and starts with it. So I've been kind of reading this very, very slowly for like the last 2 months, but it is a quick read. It goes back and forth between 2 time periods. I always think that's really interesting. And it follows, like I said, these 2 sisters and how they are involved in the resistance efforts. So it's right before the Allies come to Paris. So, and then of course, a few years later when she is brought back because she has to, one of the sisters has to testify in a trial because of someone who is being accused of treason. So very, very interesting book. I did enjoy it. I loved sort of the getting into a different time period. It's one of the kind of books that I do really enjoy. But let's go ahead and take a look at the gifts that we received. So there were 4 in this particular book box. So let me see if I'll go ahead and read the back to you just in case this is a box that you want to get and you don't want to know the gifts. So Paris, 1944. The war is nearly over, but for members of the resistance in occupied France, it is more dangerous than ever before. Gabby Fouché loathes the Nazis. Though as the concierge of number 10 Rue Royale, she does her best to avoid conflict, unlike her bolder sister Yvette, who finds trouble at every turn. Then both sisters are recruited into the resistance by Catherine Dior and swept into a treacherous world of spies, fugitives, and intrigue. While Gabby risks everything for the man she is hiding from the Nazis, Yvette must decide whether to trust an enigmatic diplomat who seems to have guessed her secret. As the threat of betrayal draws ever closer, one slip could mean the deaths of many, and Gabby and Yvette must make choices they might regret. And then skipping ahead to the other time period that's covered, Paris, 1947. Yvette returns from New York to reunite with Gabby and to begin life anew as a mannequin or a model for Christian Dior, who is revolutionizing fashion with a new look. But first she must uncover the truth behind Catherine's terrible fate, while Gabby finds that there are many kinds of courage and that love is always worth fighting for. So very, very cool. And it was very interesting to have that link to an actual person. So like I said, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one didn't come until page 114, and this is what it looks like when you come to a little sticker. So I'll read the passage and then open the gift. So Gabby likes to draw, and she actually happened to see her sister in a Dior show before even knowing that her sister was back in France. So she's a little bit in trouble. So it says, and then eventually Yvette is at the house and she sees them. So it says, Gabby wanted to snatch the drawings back, but she made herself stay where she was. Yes, I saw you. Yvette stared at her intently. Then she lowered her gaze to the page. These are superb, Gabby. You always did hide your light. Take that one, Gabby blurted out. It's a view. It was the Corral dress that Yvette had shown off so well, her waist impossibly tiny, her bosom and neck rising swan-like from the low-cut bodice. For the first time, Yvette's face relaxed, just a little. Thank you. That is kind. So, of course, I figured we would be getting a fashion sketch, and indeed we did, but they always have really fun packaging. So it said top secret on this side, and then it had like the airmail borders. So I went ahead and opened it up. Now this is an example of something like, I consider them paper gifts, like when we get like a letter that's also in the novel, or something like this, which is a drawing. Now it could be a print sometimes that you might enjoy, but honestly, this is not something that I would frame in my house. It was just kind of evocative. So here is an example. This is supposed to be a drawing that Gabby did of her sister when she was walking the sort of runway, more like in a salon. But of course, they've like sort of done a faux aging of the paper with these spots, which I think is kind of funny because the paper she was using wouldn't have been old at the time, so it would have been a nice clean sheet of paper. So it was kind of strange to have it be aged in effect, but I guess that kind of added to it. But it's the kind of thing that I never really know what to do with. So they do sometimes, people do sometimes resell their boxes with all of the gifts all wrapped up, and I like to rewrap the gifts nicely so that I can show you guys the experience in my unboxings. But that's an example of something that I'm like, I feel bad throwing it away, but I'm also not going to use it. So not one of my favorites, but some of the other gifts in the box did make up for it. So the next page that we had, I believe, was not until much later, 213. So again, So let me see what's happening here. Okay, so Gabby is, like they said, kind of harboring a fugitive, and she is trying to get medicine for him because he has an injury, and she's found out what she needs, but she kind of has to get it on the black market from these sort of gangsters. So she goes and she is using the thing that she wants to exchange for this medicine is something that's been left by an older woman who's also part of the resistance. So she goes to see the gangsters and she says, are you here to waste my time, mademoiselle? Of course not. Please, She fished in her purse and brought out a small velvet bag. I have put that away. He seemed annoyed at her. I don't trade with the likes of you. Sit down. She did as she was told, sinking onto a chair opposite him. What I need, said Berger, steepling his fingers together, is not some little trinket from your grandmother's jewel box, but information. As the concierge of a large apartment building, surely you see things, hear things too. So, that didn't go well, right? She had promised to give him a little heirloom jewelry, essentially. So I was very surprised when the corresponding gift was this large box, and it kind of rattles around a little bit. So I did unwrap it. I tried to do it pretty carefully, like I said, so I could share the experience with you. But what we actually got is this little purse. Now, this is wrapped in plastic so that it didn't scratch. I thought this was kind of a cute idea, but this little plastic pink purse is never something that I would personally use. I don't think it would really be the kind of thing that Gabby, the character in the novel, would use. But I thought it was cute, or if they had just put it in black or just like a little like faux leather clutch would have been way cuter to me. So I left the plastic on. It looks like it might be damaged, but it's not. But I left the plastic on because I will probably regift this to someone. I think like a little girl might enjoy it, or someone who has that more feminine, like kind of Hello Kitty vibe, I think could make this look really cute. You could also decorate it with stickers or whatever, but it does seem like well constructed, I will say that much. And it does have, so it has these like plastic gussets almost, and then it does have a gold chain. That was what was rattling around in there, so you can use these little findings, these little attachments, so that you can actually use it as a shoulder bag if you want to instead of a clutch. But what was kind of nice is there was actually a little jewelry bag inside the little velvet pouch that she had from inside her purse. And inside of that, we did have the sapphire ring that she had taken from Madame's apartment. So this is what that looks like. It is in a really pretty blue. Obviously, it is not a real sapphire. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't like an open-ended ring so that it was adjustable, but it is a pretty big size. So I do think it would work for a lot of people, but I thought that was fun. Just a little like fashion jewelry thing. Very simple. It's small enough that like it doesn't look so gaudy that's not real. But I would have been fine with, honestly, just the ring. I appreciate that they did a two-part gift and it was something more significant and substantial. It's just not personally something that I would use. And like I said, I would have probably preferred like a little faux leather clutch versus this plasticky one, or just like a different color than this pink, just because you guys know that's a personal preference on my part. I'm not like a huge fan of the color pink, but I know someone will enjoy that. Then on page 256, we have another one. So we're talking about more jewelry. So she has, this is the other sister now. Yvette has been working because she's kind of a messenger for the House of Lalong, which is where she meets the Diors, essentially. But she is going to carry a message that's going to be kind of hidden in a jewelry box that's holding some pearls. So it says, when Louise had finished the message, this is the like starlet that's later accused of being a traitor. It says, when Louise had finished the message, she took out the satin-covered case in which she kept her pearls and removed them, dropping the loose pearls into a china bowl. She lifted out the velvet bed from the jewel box and used a penknife to slit open the lining, just enough to slide her small note through between the lining and the base of the box. Then she sewed up the tear with tiny stitches, fitted the velvet bed back in place, and put the pearls on top of that. So, of course, we have to go to this page, which now I'm remembering, I don't remember what the message was that I decoded. I'll have to try to remember that. So it was on page 265. So, and again, this is kind of funny because I was like, I don't think she would have used a red jewelry box, but of course, in this case, it's nice because you can actually take this little sticker off and use it as a jewelry box, and it is a nice one. So we did get, of course, some pearls, which I thought was nice. Now, these are not like the highest quality. They're definitely plastic. They're very, very lightweight, but it does have this nice toggle closure, and I actually thought it was kind of a pretty necklace. Again, you're not going to notice from far away. They're supposed to be freshwater pearls with like part of the chain is in gold, but you know, I thought that was, again, kind of a fun thing to wear while you're reading it to kind of get into the mood. And of course, they did have a little note here that says open here, and inside there was a code. So I forget what it said. I did suss it out. I did sort it out before, so we had our code, but I don't remember what it said, but I did do it. I did do it, and I have to remember what it is, but it was something that kind of went along with the story, of course. But maybe I'll keep that as a bit of intrigue for all of you, or maybe I'll go ahead and put it for you in the description box below when I get around to it. But I thought that was fun that they did have a code, and it wasn't necessarily the message that Louise would have been writing, but still kind of added to it and made it another kind of two-part gift, which is always kind of fun. All right, let's see. Our final one, so that was an example of where, you know, I would have been disappointed if they had just given us the little sheet of paper with the code, because that would have been like one of those paper gifts where I'm like, what do I do with that? You know, again, the quality of this, it's just fun fashion jewelry, but still, it was nice to have both elements of that. And then our final gift for this particular box, now sometimes when it appears at the bottom of a page, they'll just do this small slip of paper, and then it says, let's see, with clumsy fingers, Gabby smoothed out the torn page of foolscap. A little metal object dropped to the floor, but she ignored it. The message was brief, written hastily. It said, all my love, Jay. Catherine bent to pick something up from the floor and held it out to Gabby. Through a haze of grief, Gabby looked down. A small bird, stippled with diamonds, a tiny sapphire for the eye. She closed her hand over it, held it tightly, felt the pin pierce the fleshy part of her palm. So this is where she's realizing that hopefully this guy that she nursed back to health and fell in love with, hopefully he still has feelings for her, but he eventually escapes while she's trying to redirect some gangsters, and they don't have a chance to really say goodbye. So this is what he leaves her. So this is page 310. This is what he leaves behind for her. It's kind of like supposed to be kind of a promise, right? Because he had to write it super fast. And we got this fashion brooch. So it is a little bird, and it does have the sapphire earring. Now, this is not the kind of pin that I would probably use, but I could totally see this working like on a bigger scarf if you were trying to hold it in place, you know, or on the lapel of a blazer. It would definitely work. So it definitely has its uses. It's not like the kind of thing that I would find myself using a lot personally, but you know, it's not terrible. So I'm trying to see if I can like remember what the code was, but I totally can't again. I totally can't. So I'll have to do it for you guys later. Maybe I'll put it in the description box below. But just going over everything that we got in this book box for Sisters of the Resistance by Christine Wells. Again, it was the July 2021 Once Upon a Book Club adult selection. We got quite a few gifts. A couple of them were paper gifts, and a couple of them were jewelry, which I was sort of surprised that we got a couple of pieces of jewelry. So we did get this lovely image, which I don't know what to do with, but it did kind of add to the story. We got this kind of plasticky, but still cute little purse that did have a chain. So it is functional for sure, just not something I personally would use. But inside we also got a fun fashion jewelry piece, this little fake sapphire ring. And then we also received quite a bit of jewelry, actually, 3 pieces of jewelry. We got this faux pearl necklace that came along with a coded message that I can't remember now, so it's a good code that I can't just like look at the letters and sort of remember. And then finally, our 3rd piece of jewelry, we received this pretty little brooch. But again, you can kind of see how this really does add to the reading experience. I did think it was a good read. I did enjoy it. It's the kind of book I like. I could totally see this being made into a great movie as well, where you really enjoyed the scenery and the fashion Revolution and getting to know a little bit more about that period in time in France. But you guys let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let's go ahead and have a secret password. So if you're new to my channel, every once in a while I'll do a secret password. When you come across one of those, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form that'll be linked for you in the description box below. At the end of the month, I go through, I use a random number picker to select a few winners to receive a mystery box as a way of saying thank you for watching my channel. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US or Canadian mailing address. You have to be subscribed to my channel, but I verify with you via email. It's in no way affiliated with YouTube or any of the boxes that I open here on the channel, just my way of showing my appreciation. Our secret password for today is going to be Sapphire, since we got two different sapphire pieces in this box. I hope you enjoyed. Please give it a thumbs up if you have a chance, and if you're looking for a fun way of making reading a little bit more exciting and enticing, consider this book box. I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.